having the show here at the Atrium Gallery is such a treat for me because of the kind of work that I do, which is painted on mylar. So to have the light up there coming through those big panels is really great. I've never had an exhibition space with that much light where I could hang those pieces. So it's a treat for me to have them here.
Excuse me, if I turn it completely off, can you guys see okay? Because I think it's washing out.
It is
Much
washing
better
out,
now.
yeah.
Yes, that's better.
Are you guys okay with that?
And there's an exit in the back. If we have to leave, we can go out that way.
Yes.
With the lights. Okay, thank you. Obviously, the work is so influenced by the lighting that it's nice to have
It is, yeah.
so much colors. So I'm going to talk about the kind of work that I do and walk you through the process really in how I get to this work, because it's digital, it's multimedia, it involves a lot of different kinds of processes, from the mechanical, the photographic, the commercial reproduction into the mark of the artist or the mark of the hand. What I really hope to do with my work is to combine those two areas, to combine the technology in the digital world and the commercial aspects of the reproduction, and the sense that I can reproduce these base images over and over again with the unique qualities of the handmade object, which is what artists have done since we started in the caves. I like the, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I can't hear her too well.
You can
Yeah,
hear?
but it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
I'll try and speak up a little bit. Is the mic working?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to focus on this painting which we saw outside, and talk a little bit about how I got there. Can I have the next slide, please? The title of this show is Cursive, Recursive, and the piece that is up on the screen now is going to tell you a little bit about the title. Cursive, as we all know from learning how to write in grammar school, is when you connect your letters together as opposed to printing, which has individual letters. I like the sense of that word as having the relationship with the handmade object and with the mark of the artist. Recursive is the process of repeating items in a self-similar way. And I do this with taking a photograph and then translating it into a digital media and then translating it into a painted piece or a drawn piece. I also reuse the image, which is the base image of the photograph, in different sizes and different scales. And that brings to mind associations with all different kinds of natural phenomena, which we might be familiar with now from looking at either images of Google Earth, where we see the Earth from above and it reminds us of some other phenomenon, or looking at things which are called fractals. And it's very interesting that the show that we had here last time with the snowflakes was an exhibition about fractals as well. The sense that there's a geometric relationship between these natural forms that reappears at various scales. So I'm very interested in that. It shows up in clouds, in mountain ranges, lightning bolts, coastlines, snowflakes, frost, trees, plants, and spots of animals like leopard skin, and sometimes paintings. Here's the next slide, please. This is an image of a painting called Dark Matter 16 from 2007. It's 5 feet by 5 feet. And it's a part of a series which I did for several years on dark matter. Dark matter is a term which is used by physicists to describe all the stuff that's out there in the universe that we can't see, but has an effect on everything else that we can see. Physicists are studying dark matter to try to understand better the way the universe evolved and the way that matter is formed into objects in the universe. So what I wanted to do was work with very dense natural materials and put them together on a canvas which had some sense of deep atmosphere and deep space. There's a lot of stuff in these paintings which I embedded. I worked mostly on the ground when I was doing these paintings, so that I was pouring material and adding material and washing material away, but all with the forces of gravity and flow. So the physical universe was very important to me when I was working on these. I've embedded grass, dirt, wood chips. I actually took snow and mixed that in. So it was a very kind of physical experience in making the paintings. And it weighs about 50 pounds. It's dense. Next slide, please. This is a detail. There are lots of little bits and pieces you can see which almost look like charcoal burned or destroyed in some way, but it's also floating. There's gold powder there floating in the medium. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry, let's go back one. I wanted to say a little bit more about the dark matter. This idea of looking at this painting as a landscape, as a physical manifestation of something that was happening in the physical world, gave me the idea to investigate it further, to try and find something else about the painting that I couldn't see with my eyes, to use tools, in a sense, as an explorer would, to explore this landscape or this universe that I had created myself. So I got an idea about photographing the topography of the painting, the actual surface of the painting, as though it were a landscape from above, and treating it like an exploration of this world that I created, using a camera and a computer to reveal what my eyes could not see about it. So let's look at the next one. This is a piece called Gray Matter 16A. It's 5 feet by 5 feet, and it is colored pencil and ink on the Mylar laser print from 2007. This is a full-sized print on Mylar of the painting that you saw. It's been digitized and manipulated to reveal the textures and the surfaces of the painting in a graphic or two-dimensional form. It's printed on an industrial Mylar material, which is a very thin, flexible plastic, which is what you see upstairs in those big pieces. It has a frosted side and a clear side, and I sent them out to be printed at a commercial printer on a big laser printer. So each piece is, it comes in panels, and it can be 36 inches wide by however long I want it. But I wanted to make these prints of my paintings to be exactly the same size as the painting so that I could see the detail. This series, Gray Matter, refers obviously to the Dark Matter series. They are next generation, side by side. The Gray Matter also refers to the little gray matter that you might remember from Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot, who talks about the little gray matter that you have to use when you're solving problems. So I wanted to use that kind of analytic or intellectual process that measures things, maps things, and uses technology to analyze data. Let's look at the next one. This is comparing side by side the painting and the print to give you a sense of what you can see when I take it through this digital process. So you'll be seeing this area here, over here, and then this area up here, which is a highlight, you'll be seeing over here. So there are a few pieces that I'll show you as I'm going through where you can actually see the relationship side by side of the drawing or the intellectual analysis part, and then the painting, the original painting part. The next slide, please. this is a detail of that highlight part in the upper right. And it also shows you the amount of texture and the amount of detail that the camera was able to capture and then that the computer was able to enhance. And when I say the computer enhanced it, I mean I enhanced it. Because a computer is really just a tool that I use in the same way as I use brushes or paint or a pencil. It's there, it's an amazing tool, but it needs somebody to work it. So this is showing a very early stage of reusing the image, the ghost image or the gray image from the painting. Next slide. The next one is another iteration of the same print. So basically, I can run out these big Mylar prints forever, as many times as I want to, and I can treat them as individual paintings or drawings and find different qualities in each one that refer back to the painting, but which also function as an independent work. Next slide, please. This is a detail of that one. That was gray matter 16D. So each of the gray matter pieces refers to the original painting, which was called dark matter 16. So they're numbered in sequence. Oh, excuse me. Let's go back.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not. This one I just wanted to point out is starting to look much more map-like. As I worked with the pieces, they became these environments that I was exploring as though I really were exploring. And I would find these areas that look like land masses or areas that look like coastlines or areas that look like population centers or things that were moving. So we're so enriched in our visual world these days with graphics everywhere and things that we are asked to understand and to define or to reveal information to us, that it's interesting to go into an abstract piece and see what comes out. You know, what kind of associations are coming out in time of war, where this looks like some troop movements, or this looks like some who knows what. But it's been fascinating for me to sit and work on these things because I think I learn so much about them as I'm looking at them. So it's really been an interesting process. Okay, next one. Get caught up with you. This is another of the dark matter paintings. This one is 24 inches by 24 inches, dark matter 14. Also made with oil, sand, tar, metal powders, oil stick, and gold powder in medium. This one has references to birth of stars, more cosmic events, as well as, I think, a very underground kind of feel, a cave feel, or something deep within the earth. And next slide please. And I went on with that painting to produce 14 drawings, which are the same size, 24 by 24, each with a different iteration of the painting. This was the first one, a print of the painting underneath and then drawn Mylar layers on the top. Next slide.